On this episode of The Watch Factor, we take a look at 1/3 of the Holy Trinity of watchmaking and haute horology. Today, we go into the house of Vacheron Constantin. Let's get started. I know if you go beyond the hype of what the watch industry has become, it's still a very exciting time if you're a watch enthusiast or a watch collector. Having the opportunity to come here to Vacheron and learn not only about the watches that they make, but about the history and the pride that they take in expressing that history and sharing that history with its clientele just shows why they are one of the three arms of the Holy Trinity. Today, we're going to take a look at everything from enameling, engraving, all the way through the actual tooling that has been passed down from generations and generations by artisans and watchmakers that produce these amazing pieces that carry the label of Vacheron. It should be exciting for you. I know it was an amazing experience for me. So sit back and relax and just kind of learn and go on this journey with me.
Created first of all in Geneva and now it's here as well. It's because we're always talking about the great craftsmaker in Geneva, but sometimes we forgot all the other craftsmanship we have in our maison especially, and all we do internally. So you have there the guillochage, first corner. So you have the guillochage with the video, you can see some tools. Sadly today we don't have a piece with the guillochage because the volume is very low, because we all do them by handmade. So they are all piece unique in kind of way, but you can see at the back some example and sample of what we can do.
Here we have engraving, which is probably the most common occurrence of medieval art because all of our timepieces that have self-winding capabilities have a hand-engraved 22-karat rotor, which we show actually in the video, the rotor being manufactured. We have on display here one of the pieces we do for the Zodiac every year. So every Chinese New Year, we create 12 in platinum and 12 in rose gold of whatever the animal year is. We are featuring the pig, even though it's not. We are currently in the year of the tiger. This is actually the only remaining example available in the entire world of this style. Example of one of our fully set tourbillons, the entire case and dial are done, as well as our Vacheron works, the full case bracelet dial. And just a fun fact about how we operate in our medieval art department. So the engraver sits right next to the gem set. It's a very, very collaborative environment. They work together to ensure that, if they have to be partners on a piece, there's constant communication to ensure that everything is handled at the highest level possible, because these are true master craftsmen. It's, in my opinion, it's a little bit of an emotional experience to be in there with them, because you see them working, and we are very fortunate to see the products, the fruits of their labor, and it's really quite something that's special. They are all one of a kind.
See the detail of the moon face as well.
Okay.
Would you like to try on?
Yes, but I would love for you, before I try on, can you tell me a little bit about it?
Alrighty, so it's a retrograde moon face, we call. Has a very detailed moon face, as I just mentioned, and the retrograde date is one of our signature movements in Vacheron Constantin. You can actually see in the back as well.
That's wild.
Have a 2 Geneva seal, one on the movement, one on the case.
What's the price point for this?
This is around 44,000. We don't have a price difference because some brands I know there's a price difference between the white gold and the rose gold, but for us we don't have any price difference.
And so, following a quick walk up the staircase to the second level of the boutique, directly in your sight is an encased glass with correspondence from 1929 that talk about a conversation with a client for repairs and adjustments made to a watch, and then a beautiful sample of a movement that was in scope during that circa and that era. So just a beautiful display of some of the history of the brand. And then we transition to this beauty, the Historiques 222. Now this is a edition of an earlier version from the 70s that the brand had produced. This is caliber 2455-2. Now the watch comes in as 37 millimeters and is actually considered a jumbo in comparison to its original. Well over 200 grams of solid gold. The heft on this watch was definitely seen and felt, but just a very classic looking piece, and even how the bracelet just appears to be seamless as one part. Beautiful Maltese cross on the front of the case and then across the back. Just a watch that I hate to let go, but with that price point, it wasn't coming home today for sure. And this was a pleasant yet just breathtaking surprise. The Overseas Tourbillon Skeleton. And this watch comes in at 42.5 millimeters, has a thickness of 10.39 millimeters of self-winding movement. This one, or this variant, is actually in grade 5 titanium, so extremely light. Comes with a power reserve with around, I think, just about 3 days. Just an exceptional piece. Had the pleasure to put this thing on and just fell in love. Now, I will be honest, the Overseas was something that initially I didn't warm up to, but having an opportunity to be here at the boutique and actually try on a variety of versions of the Overseas, I left definitely as a fanboy. This is caliber 2160SQ, and so the watch just has a lot of things just going great for it. And I mean, you can almost again take a look through that dial and see some of the bridges and some of the plating and finishing that go into this watch. Just an overall gorgeous piece. And then to think that it would maybe stop there, it actually went further with another variant of this model. And here you have the Overseas Tourbillon Skeleton. Now this variant is in 18K 5N rose gold. The watch houses an ultra slim kind of skeleton movement that I think comes in at just about 5.65 millimeters. As spoken to earlier in the video, when representatives for Vacheron were first introducing themselves, it has the peripheral weight of the rotor that's also in 22 karat gold that reveals itself when you look through the open work of the case back. These watches set the standard, not only for movement, but also for design. Just the way that they're able to leverage precious metals or unique metals to design a piece that just speaks elegance. I love the tourbillon and the fact that the Maltese cross is also placed within it. And it's just a clean watch. Now, this was a hefty boy. This one coming on a leather strap, but we did later on get to apply the actual rose gold bracelet, and you could feel the heft. The legibility of the watch, the fact that it did have just a little bit of lume across the indices, but you could just appreciate the craftsmanship and the design elements. It looks like it was multi-layered when you look at the dial, and then just the pop of red from those rubies that are also those jewels, I'm sorry, that were also a part of the movement. You could stare at this watch. You could stare at this watch for hours upon end. This could be a one-only watch if you're willing to pay that kind of price point, but I really enjoyed having an opportunity to kind of put this on the wrist today. And we conclude our look at the Overseas collection with the Overseas Perpetual Calendar Ultra Thin Skeleton. The fact that this watch is a skeleton dial, a mix of rose gold, blue accents, accurate until the year 2100, a moon's phase with a star-studded sky and kind of 2 gold moons added to the finishing touch to the calendar. When you talk about just reaching the ultimate level of a grail watch, here's your example. Just beautiful. And what I love is that as you look further into the dial beyond just the face, and you look at the movement and you see these different little hints of rose gold accents that make up the movement, it just bodes well. It just meshes so well. Vacheron is gifted when it comes to the art and design of crafting watches, not only for its accuracy but its design aesthetics, and this one just nods to that standard of excellence. Right at the 12 o'clock, you've got the calendar months. Off to the right at the 3 o'clock, you've got the days of the week, and then you've got at 9 o'clock the actual day of the week. It's just a beautiful piece, just a beautiful timepiece. I had so much fun just kind of putting this on the wrist and just kind of taking it all in. Again, I tried to place it under a loop while I was there. The guys went back and forth just passing it along and just asking, how long does it take to build something like this? Is it one master watchmaker? Just what does it take to put something like this together? It was the video doesn't give it enough justice on how amazing, beautiful this piece is. I think what I love most about this tour was the fact that the brand put so much of an emphasis on their history. They put so much of an emphasis on watchmaking, their watchmakers, and where their DNA truly comes from. And then the fact that there was such a willingness to showcase what they were proud of making. A number of different watches that we had an opportunity to try on, and then just taking us through some of the history and where they plan to go. It was such a beautiful time, and I thank everyone at Vacheron for giving us that opportunity. Well, gang, this is the wrap for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw something that you liked or even loved, and I've always want to know, what are your thoughts? Did you enjoy what you saw? Is there a Vacheron that's on your list? I know I left with a couple in my mind as a grail piece of the brand. As always, if you haven't, please do subscribe. It always helps the channel to grow. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.